so long. One touch and we're igniting, setting fire to it all. You know these flames ain't going out. This building is crumbling to the ground. Don't think that we can stop it now, 'cause baby our love is gonna burn it down. You know these days ain't going out. This building is crumbling to the ground. Don't think I wanna stop it now, 'cause baby our love.
Well, good morning everybody. Steve here, alone today. Heading for a drive down to the Watagans. James, that you may have seen if you've been following the channel for a while, is down there. He's been camped down there overnight. I'm solo today, as you can see, because Karen had to work, unfortunately, in the Ranger. Got a couple of new bits added to it in recent times, which I'll show you as we go. And yeah, we're just going to go down for a look. I'm not really planning to do any serious four-wheel driving today, but the road in is a little bit rough and rugged, so I'll film that and then we'll see what we can film as we go. So realistically guys, it's a bit of a vlog day. Come along with me, have a look, and we'll show you what we can. On the road down now. I'm on John Renshaw Drive, so I'm heading in the Mulberry end. Now I thought I'd try this different camera position, which I'm not used to. It's also a different camera, so I thought I'd give this a go. Not much to show you just yet, just we're on the tar. So anyway, I thought I'd give you a look at me from this angle instead of the way I usually get looked at. So hopefully my ugly mug's not too bad for you, eh? Anyway, one-handed because I'm holding the camera. Just flick the wipers back on. Anyway, we will keep making our way down and hopefully the footage is okay for you. But this is what I'm looking at the moment. Spin you around. As you can see, pretty boring, and the wipers are on. No shock there. That's what kind of Mud Ducks 4-wheel drive day trip would it be if it wasn't raining, eh? Alright, I haven't aired down yet. I've just literally driven off the tar and I'm onto this rough section already. I'm just going to go up past these people's houses and pull up here and air down. The second it goes off the bitumen, it gets rough. So yeah, literally straight away. So I'm just going to park up here in the sun, I think, and do the deflating, because I think it's definitely going to be nicer on the car and nicer on the tracks. And hopefully nobody will care, but I do this in the middle of a track. Oh, I'll go up here a bit more, it might be a bit wider. But yeah, rough immediately. Yeah, it is a bit wider here, so something to go around me if it needs to. So I'll drop the tyres down here, I think.
Don't think that we can stop it now, 'cause baby our love is gonna burn it down. You know these days ain't going out.
Yeah, I'm airing down to about 24 today, because I reckon this is going to be a bit rough and it's been raining, so most of the stuff we washed out. So 24 I reckon will do it. Still loving this interflate. Way better than the days when I used to have to sit down on a stool or kneel. This thing's just so much better. Now, I don't know if that came up on camera, whether you heard it or not, but just as I finished, I released the air, because these still hold air in the hoses. So you just quickly pull the thing down, lets the air out of it, and then you've got no pressure sitting in the hoses when it's packed up.
Baby, I know you told me that you're a settler and don't deny it, but maybe your mind is changing with me. Lately, I felt your heartbeat, it echoes in me, and I just can't sleep. Tell you I don't remember your words, that I can't recall. There's a new wind blowing for me, left nothing to see on California. Took a chance, but soon you were gone and already done with California. Saying your life would be perfect if you were sailing and wearing knowing. Don't listen the way we're kissing endlessly. Every day I thought of your words, but wouldn't recall.
This, believe it or not, is a main forest road. This is supposed to be a major access road for any kind of vehicle. I'm wondering and questioning, would you want to bring a Corolla up here? I don't think I would. But we don't have to, because we have four-wheel drives. Because we're not silly enough to want to bring a Corolla up here. I reckon I can get round this, but over to the left of me, right of you, pretty close to the edge of the track, so I'm just going to cut this off with a handsaw. I've got another one ahead I'm going to have to drive over, that'll be interesting, but anyway, I'll just get to this one and we'll go from there. It's only fairly small, so shouldn't be too hard to move.
But soon you were gone and already done with California.
These silky saws are good. I'll show you the next one. I'm going to have to drive around this one or over it. People will be driving over it, so should be alright. Overly keen on that. Well, that's 2 trees down. One I didn't cut, one I felt I had to. So that was a bit stupid. Let's lie that down, that'll be better. Right. So I drove over one, as you would have seen, and the other one I cut, and now I'm just driving some more bumps, but I reckon this track will probably get a bit easier from here on. But yeah, interesting. This is a main road too. This is supposed to be a way pretty well anything can get up here, but if you're not on a motorbike or a 4-wheel drive with low range, I'd suggest otherwise. But anyway, we're getting here. I'm just coming up to the communications towers now, which I'm led to believe is not far from where James is. I have a feeling when I come past these towers I'll turn to the right and I'll find him. Yeah, I definitely got him coming up in the distance here, and I don't think I've driven to this one, so we'll give you a look at it when we get down here anyway. Show you what we can show you. Okay, nice little spot. There's the man himself walking away in front of me. I'll show you all James's nerdy setup here in a second. I think I might have to come and camp here myself. Alright, I'll switch this camera off and I'll go and say hello to James. Well, I've arrived at this lookout. This is one I haven't been to, guys, but James has found it, so I'll give you a look. This is a beauty. Get a load of the view from here. That's a clanger. Would have been better half an hour ago before the clouds came in, but anyway, that's the joy of it. And speaking of good views, there he is, James.
Nice,
I'm
solid
sorry,
drifter, Stockton
stuff. I'm sorry, ladies, James is not single, okay? You just can't have him. Sorry, girls. Anyway, that's just how it has to be. James is also a radio nerd, a bit like myself. So,
well, you're the one that came up with that idea, and I must say it's a brilliant idea.
There's his antenna pole, and a bit of wire clipped onto his antenna tuner there. For those who are not radio nerds, that's a Codan auto tune mobile antenna. And that tuner part is clipped onto the wire, which then goes to this pole, and that's his aerial. And he can talk pretty well all around the planet with that. James camped here last night, so he's got the drifter fire pit out. Sorry, the drifter Stockton fire pit, there is a difference. And his roof topper. Alright, I'm going to pull out a chair, sit here and enjoy the view and have a drink with James. and contemplate life.
And I reckon just as Steve gets his chair out, one of those 2 rain squalls is probably going to hit us.
If that happens, we'll get the awning out too. All right. Well, as is customary on anything I do, it's raining. So James and I are going to go for a drive and see if we can either avoid the rain, or at least in our cars, be out of the rain. James has packed up his camp, nice and simple.
We'll go and check out these other lookouts up the end and
Indeedy.
see what the view is from there, and then make our way to other parts, I guess.
Yep, and try and avoid getting too wet in the process. So we may possibly be back to a fair chunk of video from the camera on the dash, but anyway, we'll see how we go.
Actually, for completeness, Steve, I'll just take you down the end here. It's only about another 100 metres or so, and then we'll head back.
Okay, what do we find down here?
The end of the track, so you can say I've been to the end of the track, really. That's another lookout, but you couldn't camp here because it's too much sloping. Plus a bit of info on the Great North Walk.
Okay, copy that. Oh, 100 metres, why not? Wasn't even 100 metres, was it? Get out for a quick look, I think. I come down this track that James has showed us, and this is the Great North Walk, continues, but it's, as you can see, it's the walking track as you'd expect. It's like a turning circle, and another look out here. Quite pretty. I think the rain's going to leave us again, actually. The sun's starting to come out. Very similar views to where we just were. It would be, because where we just were is like 100 metres away at best. So you might not camp here unless you're really sort of desperate, I think. Don't think I'd camp here, but you might. It's sort of flat enough for one car, for a rooftop tent.
Funny, you know, I keep hearing you talking, and I think he's talking to himself, he's losing it, but then I realise, no, you've actually got a camera there.
Although he's right, guys, I am losing it, but you know, we knew that already. Right, we're going to continue on our drive following James and see where James will take us. With that in mind, I'm scared. I am. The track's pretty straightforward down to this little camp that James was at, but it does get a little bit bumpier at the top end as we approach the radio towers. Nothing no standard four-wheel drive couldn't handle, but like everything, it's my considered opinion that suspension and decent tyres makes all the difference. So it's all doable though, and I'm sure that would have been a great little camp. I'm gonna have to go and camp there. We've come along this lesser used track to, well, it might have been a bit of a lookout once, but it's a little bit grown up now, but I'll give you a look. And unfortunately, absolute gronks have left this place a mess. Get a load of it. Rubbish everywhere. Seriously. James has got some gear, so we'll clean it up a little bit. But anyway, it's disappointing. So a nice little area. Looks like you can camp here, but it's a little bit secluded. It's more on the western side of the Watagans, so looking out this way, looking at Quarraballong, Mulbring, Cessnock, that kind of direction. But you know, a lot of trees are growing up over the years. I'd imagine just looking straight out there would have been a great spot to look out a few years ago, but some of these have been growing for a while, so certainly state forests and national parks haven't been doing anything about them for a long time. And it would be hard to do too, guys, so got to appreciate that. But geez, it would have been a good lookout in its day. It's got to be one of these days, guys. Driving around and we come across this. Fortunately, James has some water on him.
Like drinking water.
Yeah. James is going to go thirsty now because some idiot can't put out a fire. Now, yes, there's been crap loads of rain in this region lately. And is there a big chance of it catching anything else alight? I don't know. But put your bloody fires out. Now, I know that everybody who watches my channel knows this. But if you're new and you've just popped on and you haven't thought about it, give it some thought, guys. Just put the fires out. It's not hard. Because things like that is how bushfires start. But things like that is what gets forests and national parks closed.
Have a look at this, Steve.
Look out. What have we found here? Huh. That's interesting. Somebody's left a dozen tea light candles.
And a fly, don't forget the fly.
And a marsh fly. See? The candles look almost new. And maybe they're citronella ones because they've left the bloody rubbish buddy box for them here as well. Yes, they were citronella ones from Aussies. Seriously, take your crap with you. Rant over. But as you can see, this is a great view and it's another hang glider launching pad. It's a beautiful spot, being rubbished by idiots. Well, as part of our excursion around, we've arrived at Heaton Lookout. Now, I know I've showed you this before, but it's one of those places you just got to look at. How can you not look at Heaton Lookout? It's just a beautiful, pretty spot. The weather's trying to come back out sunny for us. It hasn't managed it yet, but it's getting closer. Anyhow, this is not a video on, hey, look, I went up the Heaton Lookout again. It's just, it's a great spot. So we're going to keep driving and see what else we can see. Because that's what we're doing. Very casual today. Alright, we're now driving down Prickly Ridge Road. We've been at Muir's Lookout for a couple of hours. We were going to do a bit of other running around the mountains, but we, well, one of the roads was closed, so we basically didn't. And James and I haven't caught up for a while, so we've chosen to just have a bit of a sit in a gas bag. So we're up at Muir's Lookout for, I don't know, probably a couple of hours realistically. Muir's being up the top of Prickly Ridge, we decided to drive down it. I haven't been down it for quite a few years. Last time I drove down this track, it was a genuine four-wheel drive track. This time it doesn't look so bad. It is meant to be a main road, so they are supposed to maintain it. So, yeah. There's been a lot of rain recently, so yes, there's ruts and washouts and erosion in it, but it's generally pretty good. So I've just been driving the ruts and bumps in lower range, but you could do it in high.
Baby, I know you told me that you're a settler and don't deny it, but maybe Your mind is changing with me. Lately, I felt your heartbeats. It echoes in me, and I just can't.
Well, I'm home again from the excursion in the Watagans, and I remember at the beginning of the video I said I was going to show you some of the things I just put on the car. I didn't show you, did I? So I'll go through the new additions. So what I've done on the car now is I've fitted the exterior awning, but what I've put it onto is a set of Rax-Brax mounts. They're quick release mounts. Now, not sure how many of you have seen the Rax-Brax before, but they're a very good system. I'll show you how they work. So I've already unlocked them. They're lockable. There's a little key lock there. You pull this hand grenade pin. Now I'm doing this one-handed too, guys, so this is going to be a little bit harder. Pull the hand grenade pin, and literally, let's see how I can do this one-handed. You can tilt that. Look, I can't do one-handed. It's a little bit heavy. The other camera's filming as well, so you'll be able to see what happens here with that in just a second. I'll put you down on the top, and you can look at it from there as well. So with the two cameras rolling, you just get hold of your awning, you've undone your grenade pins, lift it straight up, and it's out. That's how easy they are. So I'm just going to put this in the shed, and I'll be with you in a second. Right, I'm back. Did you miss me? Sure you did. No, you didn't. Now, obviously, that's a bit ugly, like that. So, I think I put them in the back pocket here. I did. So they come with these gadgets, and all they do is fill up the spot where your awning was. You put your hand grenade pin back in, and you're done. If you want to get Rax-Brax, there's better videos about them on other channels than mine. I would suggest you go to Shad Donahue and have a look at that, and find the Rax-Brax videos on his channel. And if you do find them interesting, Shad's got a discount code, so just duck onto there, have a look. If you want to buy a pair, just go to their website, use the discount code SHAD15, and that'll be that. Now, what I'll show you here is I have the key there, and it's literally do that, and once they're locked like this and done up, if I can get the key out, you can't pull the grenade pin out, it's in there, and that's how you lock your gear onto it. So that pretty well covers the Rax-Brax. A little bit of behind the scenes stuff for you guys. And the other thing I've mounted on the Ranger in recent times, might have seen it in Insta a little bit, is I've put up, well, I mounted my roof racks initially. I've got some K-on brackets with some Maxtrax pins. So rather than a full roof rack like I've got on the other car, I've just done that. The pins are very tight on these. I don't know if other people find that with Maxtrax, but I guess you don't want them loose there. So I'll be taking those off in a minute. Now I'm just going to clean the car after the run around the bush. Now I didn't even do any hard tracks, so have a look at it. It's horrible. I'm not going to film cleaning a car. I reckon you guys know how to clean a car, eh? So I was going to give it a wash and make it all pretty. Anyway, hopefully this day trip has been of some use for you guys. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed it, throw a like on it. Really appreciate it, helps the channel. If you're new here, consider subscribing. And to the old hands, click the notification bell, guys, too. That makes a difference. You'll know when a new clip comes up. And to the old hands, thanks again, as always, for watching one of my clips. And just remember, if I haven't said it already, just get out there and enjoy the bush. We'll see you on the next one. Cheers for now.